good game. All right, I'm gonna go back over this game. See where. See where I went down on that exchange. So yeah, this is called the weakness of the last move. Um, so one thing you want to look at normally when your opponent moves. So let's say black is looking at my move. I take here. There is a weakness from this last move. The weakness of the last move is that I remove the defender of my rook, my buddy rook. And so I think the lesson here is, I mean, that should be like a fundamental, you know, keep, think of the, anytime you move, let's say you move a pawn, go back to the beginning of the game. Let's see, so, let's look at this. This C2 to C3 move is weakening right now. These light squares, B3 and D3, are protected by this pawn. So by pushing this up, there's a weakness of that last move, and that these squares are, I mean, technically they're still protected now, but just by moving that pawn, they're protected less. They're a little bit weaker than they were before that move. Those knight moves, there's not really, knight moves in the opening towards the center don't really create weaknesses. Those are pretty strong moves. But these bishop moves, if I go back to my bringing my bishop out, so this bishop right now on the light squared bishop is defending G2. So moving the bishop towards the center has the advantage of it now gives me more control over this D5 square at the cost of now this G2 square no longer has a defender on it. So if his queen were to somehow magically get over here quickly and come down here, there's no one defending this, and he could swoop up the rook. I mean, I could defend against that just by pushing up, but then I create these other weaknesses. Right now, this pawn is a protector of the knight along with the queen. So in the early game, you may have multiple defenders, but all of these moves just they don't make the this square well. So this square is weak by pushing this pawn up. This knight is weak, and now the queen's only job is protecting the knight. And as a powerful attacking piece, you really don't want the queen tied down to only to the point where her only job is defending the knight. That just that's it. The kind of thing that well, we just call that piece quality. The black's king or black's queen in that case, if the board, if I ended up pushing up this piece and the queen was stuck defending, and if black's queen wasn't stuck defending a piece, then sure, we both have a queen, but his is to some degree a higher quality piece, even though they're the same. Mine is just doing a defending job, defending a relatively weak piece. where his isn't stuck doing that job, and so it has more freedom to be an attacking piece. So it would be a higher quality piece. But I think in this game, um, probably the thing to learn is this weakness of the last move. Um, so by moving this up, I weaken this defender. Um, and the earlier push here, which was all part of the plan to support this move, weakens this middle square here. That didn't these pawn moves, while they are weakening. Let me go back. I think my plan was to push here all the way up. But then once he brought that knight out, that didn't seem like a good option for some reason. Push, take. I would have got the queen up there. Yeah, so if I did push this guy all the way up, he can take with the pawn. I can take. Oh, that would have been good. That would have given me the center control. He's not going to take with a knight. Then I can just take back with the queen. Maybe I should have. Maybe if I had finished my first cup of coffee, that would have happened. I'm over my time on this, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to split this into two parts. We'll try to have the game uploaded and then the analysis uploaded afterwards. But I want to get to the important part here, that where I ended up going the exchange down. Towards the end, and that was where he was able to take advantage of the weakness of the last move. There are always weaknesses in the position. There's a lot of weaknesses in this position, but he didn't really capitalize that much on them. So here he did capitalize on that weakness of the last move. So what would have been an alternative? A better alternative. If I come back over here, then I can double attack this piece. It doesn't really lead. If he swings this out, he's double defending it, and then it's hard to get this rook. And in this position, I got to keep in mind trying to throw all this power at this one square. My king's in a somewhat vulnerable position. If I remove these rooks, then all he needs to do is get a rook or a queen down here, and it's checkmate, because my king is trapped in by my pawn. So it's going to take me at least one move to build an escape hatch. If I build that hatch right now, the queen's covering that one. So in making these plans to try to put pressure on this piece, possibly coming up here and pinning this piece, and then if I do come up here and take, he's got this queen coming down with check. Well, if there's still a rook here, but so maybe he swings over and trades off some rooks, but with the idea of eventually getting his queen down, and it starts to become hard to defend here. What can end up happening is you don't have time. These attacks are so fast that you don't have time to waste to make yourself an escape hatch. If you can end up having to give up a piece, a pretty good piece, just to give yourself that time to make a safe place for your king. Um, so that's something to keep in mind in these positions. I mean, my pieces are involved, maybe more actively involved, but my back row, my king safety is weak here. So if you just go full steam ahead with the attack and don't consider a counterattack, you find yourself checkmated, or your opponent may see more moves ahead, and because if they're thinking like that, oh, I can sacrifice some pieces. All I have to do is quickly get one piece over here, remove these defenders somehow. I mean, he could end up sacrificing his queen, and as long as it gives him one of these attackers on the back row faster than I can make an escape hatch, then he ends up winning the game. So that's just something to keep in mind too. But yeah, I don't know how. I'm not going to put this position into I've got some computer programs that'll analyze it and tell the best move. I think the learning thing here is maybe giving up the attack on that piece and swinging over here to b7 might have been good, because I still put pressure on this. The only way he can defend is either to push that up, and then I can win a pawn, or he can swing the rook over, and then no, and the second I take, he takes there. So yeah, it's maybe coming over here and just playing for a pawn might have been a better strategy. Actually swing the queen over. Let's say he moves the knight anywhere. No, let's say he defends. Then maybe bring this other rook up, and then he can come over. Then, or no, then he'll push the pawn up, because by then the queen's away from this diagonal. So that's just an alternative. Might have been better. So might be worth just. Well, had I noticed, or had I been thinking about this weakness of the last move, I might have considered. It might be good to, in the future, think to, instead of trying to win this large free piece, consider maybe trying to win a smaller free piece. That might be lower risk. But yeah, 1300, pretty good game overall. Let's do another one.